there, very good evening and a warm welcome to the news live on Rupawahini. I'm Sharon Mascrinius.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Javed Bongzo and we begin with the headlines of tonight's news.
The President says the increasing of women's participation in the field of politics is an important factor for a clean political campaign. Speaker rejects the request made to hand over opposition parliamentary group leadership to MP Dallas Ala Peruma. MP Bandula Gunawadra admits he has made false information on the bond issue before the Presidential Commission. Fixed dates have been stipulated for the releasing of Year 5 scholarship, GCE ordinary level and advanced level examination results. Hawaii becomes the first US state to file a lawsuit against American President's revised travel order.
On to the stories in detail now. President Maithripala Sirisena says the increasing of women's participation in the field of politics is an important factor to maintain clean political campaign. He points out that Sri Lankan mothers and daughters have the strength to fulfill and the honour service for the people. He was speaking at the Women's Day commemoration ceremony organised by the SLFP Women's Front in Colombo. The theme of the Women's Day commemoration ceremony was Her Strength for the Party and the Country. Large number of women of various fields representing all districts participated. President Maithripala Sirisena reiterated that the government is committed to prepare the legal background for women's participation in the field of politics. The President said that the women's contribution is needed for clean and honest politics in the country tomorrow more than today. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party had the women's strength at the highest level in the party's political campaign. Everyone knows that political campaigns with more women's participation during election campaigns have more probability of winning elections. A woman has given very important and correct evidence at the Presidential Commission appointed to probe into the bond issue. Women's strength is essential mainly to create a future government in the country. No one should underestimate the women and youth force of the SLFP at any moment. These forces should be given high estimate.
කාන්තාවක් තමයි හිටපු අධ්‍යක්ෂවරියක් තමයි ඊටාමත්ම වැදගත්ම නිවැරදි අවංක සාක්ෂියක් දීලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ තුල පෙන්눔 කරනවා කොතෙක් දුරට අය අවංකත්වයේ තුල පැහැදිලි ලෙස තමාගේ වගකීම ඉටු කරන්න උත්සාහ කරලා තිබෙනවාද කියන එක. එයින් පෙන්වන්නේ තනතුරකට තිබෙන සුදුසුකම. ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ ශක්තියක් ගොඩනගමින් අනාගත ආණ්ඩුවක් මේ රටේ බිහි කිරීම සඳහා ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන්ම කාන්තාවන්ගේ සහයෝගය සහ ශක්තිය තුල පිරිසිදු දේශපාලන ව්‍යාපාරයක හඬ නැගීම ඉතාමත්ම අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. කාන්තාවගෙන් ලැබෙන බලපෑම, පිටුවහල, ශක්තිය, මඟ පෙන්වීම, ආශිර්වාද, අනුග්‍රහය ඒ සියල්ල ඉතාමත්ම බලවත් වෙනවා. කිසිම වෙලාවක ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ ශක්තිය පිළිබඳවත්, ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ කාන්තා බලවේගය පිළිබඳවත්, ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ තරුණ බලවේගය පිළිබඳවත් කිසිම වෙලාවක අඩු තක්සේරුවකට යන්න එපා. හැම වෙලේම ඉහළ වැඩි තක්සේරුවක් දෙන්නයි කියන එක මම බොහොම කාරුණිකව ඔබ සියලු දෙනාට ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
Former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga revealed that the Sri Lanka Freedom Party has always given priority to women. The SLFP was a pioneering political party which gave the pride of place for women in Sri Lanka. She noted that she has seen a massive women's force at this ceremony which was unprecedented. Certain persons were used to claim that President Maithripala Sirisena's SLFP is weak and it is not going forward. But the massive women's participation at this ceremony has disproved those claims. The SLFP has created the world's first women prime minister and one of the first women presidents. There was no other party like SLFP in Sri Lanka which was led by two women in separate eras. The present government has designed a bylaw that 25% of women's participation is a must for local government institutions. Therefore, women should be prepared to grab this opportunity. She has proposed to give SLFP's leadership in the struggle to bring that the law in Parliament and provincial councils.
Speaker Karu Jayasuriya told Parliament today that the leadership of opposition parliamentary group cannot be given to MP Dallas Alaperuma. This post fell vacant as a result of 1 week suspension imposed on MP Dinesh Gunawardena. This was informed by the Speaker in accordance with the decision of UPFA parliamentary group leader Minister Nimal Siripal de Silva. Speaker Karu Jayasuriya disclosed that MP Dinesh Gunawardena has given his consent to accept MP Dallas Alaperuma as the leader of the joint opposition group till the end of his suspension period. MP Vasudeva Nanayakkara said that the opposition parliamentary group leader is now under a suspension order. Therefore, Speaker should recognise the nominee to act on behalf of MP Dinesh Gunawardena.
ගරු කතානායකතුමාටයි කටයුත්තක් රෙකග්නයිස් කරන එක ලීඩර් කෙනෙක් හැටියට නායකයා කවුද නායකයා හැටියට වැඩ බලන්න ඉඩ දෙනවද ඒක ඔබතුමාගේ තනි බලය කතානායකතුමා මට කඩගාටු මේ
Mr. Lakshman Kiriyala said that these people were trying to remove MP Dinesh Gunawardena as he has not attended a parliament session only one day. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has asked as to whether these people were trying to remove MP Dinesh Gunawardena from the post of opposition parliamentary group leader at a time where private MPs' proposals will be taken up in Parliament tomorrow. Mr. Nimal Siripal de Silva is the leader of the UPFA parliamentary group. He has nominated MP Dinesh Gunawardena as his second in command. It was not a problem for us. These changes should be made after consulting President Maithripala Sirisena, who is the leader of the alliance.
The members of the MAR Sangha condemned the conduct of parliamentarian Dinesh Gunawardena in Parliament, disregarding laws, regulations and parliamentary traditions. MPs Vimal Veeravansa and Dinesh Gunawardena have disregarded the order issued by Speaker Karu Jayasuriya following his statement relating to the decision on National Freedom Front's request to act in Parliament as an independent group. He informed the House that the group headed by Vimal Veeravansa cannot become an independent group in Parliament. He made this decision after considering views expressed by the party leaders and all other parties. However, MP Dinesh Gunawardena has continued his agitation in the House, disregarding the Speaker's order.
ගරු දිනේෂ් ගුණවර්ධන මන්ත්‍රීතුමා බරපතල ලෙස විනය විරෝධී ලෙස හැසිරෙන බැවින් ස්ථාවර නියෝග 74ක වගන්තිය යටතේ අද දින රැස්වීමේ ඉතිරි කොටස අවසන්.
Parliamentary sessions were delayed by 3 hours yesterday due to obstructions of unruly opposition MPs. Parliamentary sittings were suspended for 3 times. The Sergeant of Arms had to seek support of the police to forcibly evict MP Dinesh Gunawardena from the chambers as he was adamant to stay there. At this moment, joint opposition MPs misbehaved in front of the police officers. The Venerable Professor Athangane Ratnapala Thera said that members of the MAR Sangha have expressed their concern on the conduct of members of Parliament. These MPs are not fulfilling their responsibility for the country. MPs should protect the dignity of Parliament and represent the public views and problems of the country. There was no question about the action taken by the Speaker against MP Dinesh Gunawardena. His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit noted that they expect MPs to conduct debates in Parliament, setting an example to others. Those debates should be conducted in a disciplined manner, he said.
Presidential Commission probing the central bank bond issue has warned parliamentarian Bandula Gunawardena to desist from making statements misleading the public. This warning was issued to him when he appeared before the Commission to give a statement on the relevant bond transaction. MP Bandula Gunawardena has allegedly have been made false information when he participated in a talk show aired by a private television channel on the bond issue. The Presidential Commission has issued this warning following his statement to the television channel. State councils representing the Attorney General's Department have questioned MP Bandula Gunawardena when he appeared before the Commission today. MP Bandula Gunawardena expressed the belief that the Presidential Commission will definitely conduct a true inquiry into the central bank bond issue. The responsibility of the joint opposition is to present facts unearthed by them relating to this matter. 26 joint opposition MPs have made a written request from the Commission to allow them to give evidence on the bond issue yesterday. He said that he has summoned before the Commission today to give evidence on 4 special factors. Commissioners have informed him that they have focused their attention on those factors highlighted by him.
Finance Minister Ravi Karnanayaka has made a request from the Law and Order Minister to inquire into the websites resorting to propagate false information against the President, Prime Minister and the government. He was responding to a question raised by MP Padma Udayashantha on website reports. MP Padma Udayashantha noted that certain media, including electronic media, websites and social media, have quoted certain political parties, people representatives and individuals as saying that separatism was emerging again in the country. He asked as to what action the government is taking on this matter.
Minister
Sagala Ratnayaka noted that measures will be taken to seek Attorney General's advice and file cases in court if there are any such instances. Minister Lakshman Kiriyala said that MP Padma Udayashantha was trying to give unnecessary publicity to the LTTE, which was defeated. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe noted that we have no idea as to who was responsible for publishing such reports in media and websites. He disclosed that the LTTE members and these people in the opposition have organised protest demonstrations against him during his official tour of Australia. Finance Minister Ravi Karnanayaka pointed out that websites handled by Mahinda Rajapaksa and Nama Rajapaksa are engaged in a campaign of character assassination of the President, Prime Minister and the government. Such matters should be investigated, he said.
Several government and opposition MPs expressed their views in favour and against SITEM when they participated in the adjournment debate on the Malabay Private Medical Institute. MP Anurukumar Disanayake said that the country's student movement or students should not bear the responsibility for the aggravation of SITEM issue. It has dragged on due to the failure of the government and the ministers to take proper action at proper time as well as their policy on free education. Therefore, it is unjustifiable for putting the burden on this crisis on others' shoulders.
මෙම ගැටලුව මේ දක්වා වර්ධනය කිරීමට හේතු සාධක වී තිබෙන්නේ. තමුන්නාන්සලා ඒ වෙනුවෙන් තමුන්නාන්සලා විසින්ම නිර්මාණය කරන ලද, තමුන්නාන්සලා විසින්ම පවත්වාගෙන යන ලද, තමුන්නාන්සලා විසින්ම තීව්‍ර කරන ලද මෙම අර්බුදයේ බර, මෙම අර්බුදයේ වගකීම සිසුන් වෙත හෝ වෛද්‍යවරුන් වෙත හෝ මේට එරෙහිවන්නන් වෙත පැවරීම කිසිසේත්ම සාධාරණ නැහැ. මේ තමුන්නාන්සලාගේ වරදක්. මේ තමුන්නාන්සලා විසින් විසඳිය යුතු වරදක්. ඒ වගේම තමුන්නාන්සලාගේ අධ්‍යාපන ප්‍රතිපත්තියේ වරද්දක්.
Minister S.P. Disanayake has asked as to why no one is talking about the standard and quality of education. These talkative professors should serve in Rajarata, Batticaloa and Jaffna universities. If such a request is made from them, then they will definitely reject it. Not a single professor in that group has accepted posts in such universities in the past. He made a request from doctors who are against the private medical education system to treat patients free of charge. There is a shortage of teachers in universities like Rajarata and Runa. There was no one to reach in such universities, he said.
Education Ministry has decided to release the Year 5 Scholarship GC Ordinary Level and the Advanced Level Examination results in stipulated dates of the year. This decision was taken by considering practical difficulties faced by GC Advanced Level students when making applications for foreign university courses due to the delay in releasing examination results. Education Minister Akhila Viraj Karyavasam says a decision has been taken to release Year 5 Scholarship Examination results on the 5th of October every year. March 28th is the fixed date for the releasing of GC Ordinary Level Examination results. GC Advanced Level results will be released on the 27th of December every year. In addition, the GC Ordinary Level and the Advanced Level examinations are scheduled to be conducted at the end of the year.
A new water filter that has the ability to purify water within few seconds has been introduced to Sri Lanka. The launching ceremony of the new equipment took place at Finance Ministry at Colombo today. Mr. Ravi Karnanayaka was the chief guest. The modern water filter is being produced by a British company. It is used in several countries the world over. The special feature of this equipment is that it does not use chemicals to purify water. There is no need of electricity or any other renewable energy to operate it. Finance Minister Ravi Karnanayaka expresses the belief that this modern equipment is suitable for Colombo and suburbs as well as other provinces, including the North Central province where the kidney disease is widespread. It has a micro water filter with the ability to destroy bacteria and other viruses as well as to remove cadmium and arsenic. Investigations have confirmed that such chemicals affects the kidney. Such a large equipment could be used to purify 30,000 bottles of water. Small equipment has the ability to purify 6,000 litres of water. Mr. Ravi Karnanayaka said that the government has focused attention to provide this equipment to the people living in areas where the kidney disease is widely spread. It is used in countries like Haiti, Iraq, Colombia, the Philippines and Sudan. This water filter has a high quality standard with the ISO 9001 certification. He added that this problem is not only confined to Colombo but also to other areas as well. This equipment will help to reduce the health costs. It is also a fulfillment of the President and the Prime Minister's efforts to supply pure drinking water to the people.
We now bring you Asia in a minute.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi hopes of a breakthrough on the much-awaited National Sales Tax Reform (GST) as the budget session of Parliament resumes. Towns set to reopen 6 years after the Fukushima nuclear crisis, hire hunters to kill wild boars seen roaming in vacant neighborhoods, having moved in after residents fled. At least 5 people are injured after an explosion took place at a marketplace in India's northeast state of Manipur after polls. Elephants play polo at the annual 2017 King's Cup Elephant Polo Tournament in Bangkok to raise money for conservation projects. The world's smallest deer, Pudupuda, has been born in the Saitama Children's Zoo, Japan yesterday, attracting visitors.
Minister of Parliamentary Reforms and Mass Media Gayantha Karnatilaka told a ceremony in Benthota yesterday that the government's stand has been incepted by the whole world. Minister Gayantha Karnatilaka said that during the previous regime, several white elephant projects have been launched. Previous rulers have borrowed billions of rupees, making the public debtors. These loans were taken at high interest rates. They have built ports without ships, airports without planes, stadiums without matches, and conference halls without meetings. The country has been pushed towards a massive debt trap by the previous regime. Even future generations have to pay these debts taken by the previous rulers. However, this government has directed the country towards systematic development in spite of economic issues. The newly developed Pahalakade Circular Road in Benthota was opened by Minister Gayantha Karnatilaka as well.
And Japan has stepped in to support the development in Trincomalee, Kandy and Monragala. Japanese government has agreed to provide around 42.7 million rupees for 3 projects in those 3 areas. Japanese aid is to be used to implement the 3 projects for inclusive development by supporting resettled fishermen in Trincomalee, victims of gender-based violence in Kandy, and persons with disabilities in Monragala. The grant contract was signed under the Scheme of Grant Assistance for Grassroots Human Securities Project at the Japanese Embassy in Colombo today. Japanese Ambassador Kenichi Suganuma, Chairman of Seva Lanka Foundation, Dr. Harsha Kumar Navaratna, Chairperson of Women Development Center S.G. Stephen, and President of Surangani Voluntary Service Vikramagen Nalin Vipulendra were the signatories for the grant contracts.
Support for the national reconciliation, and of course the first project by Seva Lanka Foundation addressed the returnee in Sampur, the fishermen, their children, and this is very important to provide good economic development for people who have come back from their exile to their motherland. And that will form the basis of the national reconciliation in Sri Lanka. And we also have been putting a priority on supporting women, particularly women who have become victims of violence in Sri Lanka. Actually, yesterday was the Women's Day, and I'm glad that we can be part of the movement, the efforts by many actors to support the women, supports women who are in difficult situation in Sri Lanka.
Today is the second day of Mrs. Thailand Raya Lulai's tour of Sri Lanka. She visited several areas in the island today. Mrs. Thailand Raya Lulai and Mrs. Sri Lanka 2016 Chandi Delwala today worshipped Somavati Sacred Area in Polonnaruwa. Thereafter, they participated in a special ceremony organized to welcome them at the Piyadasana Ramaya temple in Polonnaruwa. They also inquired into the welfare of the women in the area.
The SARC Cultural Centre in Sri Lanka celebrated International Women's Day at the Lionel Wen Theatre, which included a stunning display of female prowess in the field of art and culture.
This event was an opportunity to recognize the contribution of several leading veteran artists, highlighted as being the reflection representatives of the talent of the South Asian region has encompassed the SARC Cultural Centre. Veteran artists Irangani Serasinghe, Vajira Chitrasena, Sumitra Piris, Mary Ann David and Nanda Mani graced the occasion. The celebration featured a unique all-female drumming ensemble comprising 10 young female graduates from the University of Visual and Performing Arts in Colombo. The evening celebration was presided over by the director of the SARC Cultural Centre, Vasanta Kotuvella.
And to bring you the trading details now, the all-share price index closed at 6,088.80 points, dropped by 6.27 points, and the S&P SL20 index closed at 2,506.60 points, also dropped by 1.17 points at the end of the trading in the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Turnover was over 800 million rupees.
And in foreign stories, Hawaii has become the first U.S. state to file a suit against President Donald Trump's revised travel order. The directive, which takes effect on 16th March, places a 90-day ban on people from 6 mainly Muslim nations and a 120-day ban on all refugees.
The directive will bar entry of citizens of Iran, Libya, Syria, Somalia, Sudan and Yemen for 90 days. Iraq, which was included in the first ban, has been taken off the list. As well as exempting approved refugees, the new order lifts an indefinite ban on those from Syria. It will also no longer affect legal U.S. permanent residents. Hawaii was among a number of states who filed lawsuits against the original ban, saying it would harm residents, businesses and schools. It filed a fresh complaint yesterday, calling for an emergency block on the new order. A hearing is set for March 15th, a day before the new ban is to go into effect. President Trump has not yet commented on Hawaii's latest legal bet, but has previously insisted he has the right to enact such an executive order and hit out at sore political courts.
Here's more foreign news in brief. Guatemala has declared 3 days of national mourning after fire killed at least 21 teenage girls at a children's care home. Wednesday's blaze at the government's run shelter in San Jose Peninsula near the Guatemala city has focused attention on how it was run. Police say some residents set fire to mattresses after a riot and an escape attempt. At least 40 other people suffered burns in the fire and some remain in critical condition. U.S. First Lady Melania Trump presided over a luncheon at the White House yesterday in celebration of the International Women's Day. U.S. President Donald Trump's daughter, Ivanka, was among the dignitaries in the audience. Kellyanne Conway, a senior aide to Trump, also attended.
And in sports news, Bangladesh were all out for 312 runs, chasing Sri Lanka's mammoth first innings total of 494 on the third day of the first test at Galle International Stadium. Rain forced early stumps after tea today. Rangana Herath and Dilram Pereira shared 6 wickets between them to help Sri Lanka take command of the first test against struggling Bangladesh in a rain-hit Day 3 in Galle International Stadium today. Bangladesh, replying Sri Lanka's first innings total of 494 were all out for 312 on the third day, trailing by a massive 182 runs. Mushfiqur Rahim and Shakar scored 72 runs at the commencement of the game today. Skipper Mushfiqur Rahim played a captain's innings of 85 runs. He shared a partnership of 106 runs with Mehdi Hassan.
That's the edge he was looking for. That's better. That's better. That's a really good shot.
A quick check on the weather before we go. The Met Department says that showers or thunder showers will occur at several places over most parts of the island after 2 p.m. There is a high possibility of thunder showers to occur over the southern, Sabaragamuwa, western and Uwa provinces. There may be temporary localized strong winds during thunder showers. General public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by lightning activity.
And that's it for tonight's news. Do watch us tomorrow at the very same time.
Covering the truth.